Right, guys. Hi, everyone. Welcome to UbuCon Asia 2025. In fact, I welcome myself here because I'm surprised to see a lot of people here. I was expecting one level of audience, but it's absolutely amazing. I love you guys' energy. I'm Eeshaan, and today I'm going to talk about intelligent document workflows. And before I get right into the presentation, I'll like to tell a little bit about myself. I'm Eeshaan. My name is Eeshaan Sawant. I come from India. I'm a technical writer and a developer advocate at ONLYOFFICE. I'm also, for this term, for 2025, the fall term, the LFX mentee under the CNCF Foundation for the Project Pipe series. It's also worth mentioning that I'm a new graduate. I just graduated this year. My major is computer science, so hard to all the engineers out there. So please forgive me if I just mess up because I'm still a kid. Come on. And yeah, lastly, I'm a huge coffee enthusiast. I was just searching places around Kathmandu to have some great coffee. And if you're one of them as well, I would definitely love to catch up and just go roam around some great cafes in Kathmandu. Great. Once that's done, well, let's just look at the title again. It's Intelligent Document Workflows, bringing local AI into OnlyOffice using Ubuntu. And before we, for the next 30 minutes, what I'm going to, can you guys hear me? Hello? Okay. For the next 30 minutes, I'm going to tell you about how you can turn OnlyOffice Desktop Editors, a completely open source software, using LocalAI into a powerful machine which will not only make your document collaboration more fun, but also smarter and more intuitive to use. Let's quickly look at the agenda here. I'll first start telling you about AI and document editors, what is it and why it is important. Next, we'll look at why local AI matters, what is local AI and how is it better than the most popular form of AI, the cloud AI that we have all been listening throughout the year. Next, I'll also take a brief moment to introduce you to OnlyOffice editors. We all also call it OnlyOffice Docs and OnlyOffice DocSpace. These are two products that OnlyOffice offers. And next, we'll be looking at the main meats and balls of the talk, which would be setup and the integration and how you can actually use local AI and set OnlyOffice up with it and kind of get started using it. We'll also do a little bit of basic prompt engineering, basically a live demo. I'll just show you how you can summarize some text, then translate it and then even put in your custom prompts and all of that. Lastly, we'll wrap up this whole session by looking at some best practices, some tips and tricks that will help you get the most out of this OnlyOffice X local AI setup and kind of scale it if you want to for your business or even for your local use or for your small team that you have at work. And yeah, AI, well, 2025, it's all been about AI and we've been hearing it a lot. The buzzword of 2025, every kid is talking about it, every adult is talking about it. We've seen it in sales, we've seen it in medicine, we've seen it in research, legal sectors, education, marketing, all of that. But most importantly, we've been starting to see it in document editors. And people are talking about it. And people are talking about it because, well, AI in document editors has become this invisible silent killer which automatically makes your document smarter and also helps you collaborate between people intelligently and saves a lot of your time. I mean, let's look at it. How many times have you had to just look at the annoying and repetitive tasks in your document workflow? Let's take spelling checks, for example. How many times have you manually tried spell checking hundreds of times and then you, I'm sure, still miss something out of those 100 times and still some spelling mistake in your paragraph? Or maybe take translations. You live with a fear in your heart that, well, how do I make these translations make sense? Do they actually make sense? You don't know because the language you will be translating is not what you're aware of, and that is why you're translating it. And let's take something as simple as creating images or just fixing small snippets of code. We've been seeing AI being used for all of these tasks throughout the year and well last year as well. And my point here is that AI can take the load off your back and do all of these things efficiently while you focus on actual thinking part of your work, which is actually the most important thing when people talk about, well, I'll lose my job with AI, think that is what you're getting paid for, the thinking part of your work. And that's what you can focus on if you just smartly distinguish your tasks between AI and your self. And after this, immediately I get asked a lot of questions. Well, if you're talking so much about AI, which AI do I use? Which one is better for me? And most of the people I turn to and ask which AI you would like to use, they just say, well, cloud AI. And well, I agree, cloud AI is very good and it has its own perks. Well, updated models, updated information, huge models, huge GPUs, all collaborating together, NVIDIA, OpenAI, all of them. But they also come with kind of a strings attached policy. And I say that because, with these cloud AIs, you kind of turn a blind eye towards a lot of stuff. First of all, I talk about privacy. You don't know where your data is going, right? You don't know how your data is being processed. The second thing I would like to talk about is internet dependency. Well, we are fortunate enough to be living in metro cities and good cities where there is good internet. But if you talk about accessibility, it kind of limits the factor that if there is no good internet, or maybe there's no internet at all, then you cannot access this. So let's just say you don't have internet at a given point of time, you cannot access your cloud AI. And the third and the most important part is cost. Let's just face it, the free models don't get your work done. You always have to pay. How many of you have ever paid for any sort of AI stuff here? Can I get a raise of hands, please? Yeah, exactly. So you just have to pay. I myself have a lot of subscriptions going on, but the point I would like to make here is that they cost a lot, the premium subscriptions. So that is one of the major cons of using a cloud AI. And I'll take a moment to talk a little bit about local AI now. The quick pitch about local AI. Well, if you talk about privacy, it's nothing leaves your laptop, nothing comes in. So your data is yours, your documents are yours. If you talk about internet, well, you don't need an internet. And if you talk about speed, there'll be no latency issues and no glitches in your responses, and they'll be more of stable. And the most important part, again, cost. Well, I hate to break it to you, but most of the local AI models are open sourced and free to use, and well, they're pretty good if you just want to use it for editing your documents and just enhancing your workflow and automate it. And if you're wondering, well, oh my god, I could never run a local model on my own PC, I just don't meet the requirements, I'll let you know that you can just get started with a multi-core CPU, just some 8 gigs of RAM or even lesser, and 20 gigs of available free storage. And if you have something like 16 GB of RAM, which I think almost more than 70% of people, if you buy a laptop today, do, and also some fast writing storage like an SSD or maybe an M.2 SSD, you have the cherry on top. And that's where OnlyOffice comes in, right? OnlyOffice has always been this powerful, security friendly and privacy first set of editors that have helped you, just given you a set of tools like tools for document editing, tools for spreadsheet editing, sheets, we call it sheets, a tool for sheets editing, for presentation editing, and for PDFs, for your diagrams and much more. So if you combine the power of local AI with OnlyOffice, what happens is you get this huge supernatural power which will automatically enhance your workflow, give you a digital smart office, and it will absolutely work the way you exactly want it to. Because at the end, you are in control of OnlyOffice because it's open source, and you're also in control of local AI because it's running on your own machine. And that is where OnlyOffice Docs comes in. I'll take a moment to tell you about OnlyOffice Docs. So this is the first product I'm going to talk about out of the two. OnlyOffice Docs is your offline as well, I mean desktop or just the thing that you download, editors, as well as online editors for, as I just mentioned, docs, sheets, spreadsheets and all of that. The USP here is that you don't have to install separate applications or separate packages for each editor. So they all come bundled in a single application, or a package called OnlyOffice. And these set of editors, I'll just like to go through them. First of all, the document editor, and immediately you see that we have a lot of formats that we support. It's not just docx or it's just not just docm, but it's a huge array of supported formats. And it's your go-to text editor, right? It's open source, it's free to use, and it also it definitely has the basic functions like formatting capabilities, styles and styling, and all the fonts, and even 500 available plus fonts. But it can also do complex tasks for free, like let's say mail merge and citations, which a lot of other platforms do charge because they're considered premium features, but we do give this for free. We also have a spreadsheet editor, and again, considering it's a spreadsheet, we do support a number of formats as well there. It also supports Apple numbers, so that's great. And we have over 450 functions and formulas to just play around with your rows, cells, and just insert formulas there. We have table templates, we have pivot tables, we have all the stuff that goes into a sheet editor. But just more smarter, we also have support for macros, something that a lot of you might have heard in other applications. We do have JavaScript macros, which I'll be talking about a little bit later. But yeah, it also supports macros. You can write your own macros. You can just customize your spreadsheet editor as you want. Next up, we also have the presentation editor. It supports all the basic things that you expect, as well as advanced things like animations, transitions, maybe if you want to just decorate a slide, or you want a fancy slideshow, all of that is supported. We have a slide manager as well, all for free. And then we also have the PDF editor. Now, what is a PDF editor? You can easily annotate your PDFs, or even create fillable PDF forms. If you especially have a lot of people you need to send in a form, but they need to fill different details. So you can completely customize it. That's what a fillable form is. So you can create fillable forms in PDF editors. You can also sign your PDFs single page per page. You can also insert watermarks and all of that, even stamps. And this is something we recently released. It's called Diagram Viewer, and it supports Visio files. Now they're called VSDX, so it allows you to diagrammatically view your diagrams in OnlyOffice, and this is relatively a new thing. So if you want to just view these Visio files in any other software, you'd have to pay or even install third-party software, but not here. You just get it all bundled. It'll be releasing soon. I don't think it's available for public use yet. And I'm also happy to tell you that OnlyOffice integrates with 40 plus platforms. What that means for you is that you can keep using the platform that you want. So there's no vendor lock-in. So for example, if you're using some software, I'd not like to take any names here, but if you're using some XYZ doc editor software, then you are also forced to use their XYZ drive. That's not the case here. You can use your drive you want, because let's just keep the fact that we all have our own likes. Someone likes Nextcloud, someone likes OwnCloud. So you can always use OnlyOffice with all of these. And by integrations, I mean either through plugins or through just directly in their own software. Just to give you an example of what integrations are, if you have ever used any one of these, let's say just take Nextcloud, it's the most popular cloud storage in the Europe. You just have an OnlyOffice plugin you need to install, and then what that means is you can directly open docx files or XLSX files directly in Nextcloud without having to download it and then open it somewhere else and all of that. And you can just look at the other integrations. We have a lot more, but some of the famous ones are Nextcloud, Moodle, we have I think we have Drupal, we have Drupal and Odoo as well, OwnCloud as well. And now I'll talk about the second product that I was talking about, OnlyOffice DocSpace. I'll not go into the details because this is a very complicated thing. If we just try to explain it in 3 or 4 minutes, it will require a presentation of its own. But what DocSpace essentially means is that it's a powerful and secure platform for document collaboration. It is basically made in a room type scenario where you have these rooms, as you can see on the right, you have these rooms, you have public rooms, so you can put in your files in that rooms, you can get a link of that room, so you can share it with anyone, so they can just go into the document, edit that document without having to sign up. You might have used this before, people call it a lot of stuff, Drive, for example, but it's not Drive, it's much more. That's just a public room. We have form filling rooms. So for example, you have a specific form and you are a manager of a company, you have 100 employees, you want those 100 employees to fill form A and you want other 50 employees to fill form B. What you can do is create 2 rooms, form filling rooms. You can put those 2 forms in different rooms and give access to that room according to who you want to give access to. And this is all a part of OnlyOffice DocSpace. You get these secure data rooms as well, virtual data room, which is also called VDR. It's for advanced file management, more restricted permissions. So if you get access to that room, you can't just download the file easily or just copy stuff from it. It's all restricted because it's a secure data room for more secure private content or just something which is more sensitive. And I would also like to tell you that, well, I mean, you might be thinking, well, if all the editors are in one application or in one package, how big it would be, and what would be the support scenario? It would just support Mac OS, or it would just support Windows, not Linux. Well, I would like to tell you, and OnlyOffice, we have desktop apps for Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. So that's out of the question, and they're very lightweight as well. If you just, you'd be surprised to know that it would not take in more than 400, max 400 or 500 MBs of storage in your desktop editors. And if desktop is not for you, if you're a mobile guy, if you're a mobile girl, we have mobile apps for iOS and Android as well. So you can just download it from the App Store or the Play Store and just use it for your document editing. And it's, of course, you guys are individuals, so it's free to use for you. And if both of them are not your something you would like, we also have mobile web editors. Desktop is obviously there for web editors, but we also have mobile web editors, which means that you can go to your browser, put in your OnlyOffice URL and access your documents from there. It's basically software as a service, SaaS, you might have heard about it. Alright, now I would, the main part we all are excited about is how to integrate OnlyOffice on Ubuntu, and I have this video which I would like to play. So yeah, once we have OnlyOffice installed, which was not very easy on the video, but trust me, it's very easy. If you do it manually, just you can always watch the video on YouTube again. And if you want to install, and if you're going to install LocalAI, it's just a simple curl command with the bash script link. Says localai.io install.sh. It will install. It will install a bash script, which if you run the LocalAI would be installed. The next step would be installing something like a lightweight model. I was just asking you about what models you have used, and I couldn't hear you maybe when I asked about the lightweight models. But I only heard Llama from a lot of people, and it's obviously very popular and very good as well. But what we'll be doing here is installing a lightweight model such as the Hermes 2 Theta Llama 38B. It's a very lightweight model, and it's pretty enough if you just talk about using it in your document workflows, because it gets the job done pretty well. And by lightweight models, what I mean is that, well, not everyone can have 32 gigs of RAM in their PC, so you have to start with lightweight models. Otherwise, you would just and it's not also about the system requirements. It's about as the model gets bigger, it also gets complicated. So you would also it's more error prone, that you would like to run, and you likely run into some error, and then you would say that guy came from India and he told me about this AI, but it doesn't seem to work. Well, I told you install a lightweight model, not Llama. Great. And then the final step would be obviously to run the cross-origin resource sharing policy, which would be done by either going into etc localai.env or just the cause flag. I was going to just show you how you can get around in OnlyOffice and actually do it, but the laptop here doesn't seem to turn on. It's just a lot of technical issues today. But if anyone can get me a charger, it would be great. Until then, I can just show you the demo at the end. But I'll just tell you what it means. You can install the AI plugin on OnlyOffice. It's very easy. Once you install the AI plugin from the free plugins marketplace, we also have a lot of plugins other than AI. Once you click install here, you will be getting a AI tab right up there, and you can just go into that AI tab. And well, before that, I'd also like to tell you about how LocalAI works. So once you install the model that you want, mostly a lightweight one, you'll get it'll host the instance on a localhost port, most probably 8080, and you'll get this URL localhost 8080. So you can just put the URL here. Now you can see there's a key box here, but you'll also get a URL box here. So if you're running a local model, you don't need to enter an API key or whatever it's called, because you have it locally. So you'll get an URL box as well. I could show it to you. I can still show it to you at the end, but you'll get an URL box. Yeah, but this okay. So you'll also get a URL box where you can put in the URL. The USP here is that you can assign different models to different actions. So for example, if you want to use your favorite cloud AI, or two of them, let's say OpenAI and Gemini, you can just customize it in such a way that if you want to summarize text, you can use your local model. If you want to translate, maybe you can use Gemini. If you want to just maybe put in your own prompt, you can use the always good ChatGPT or OpenAI. And that's the flexibility that we give you. So you can choose whatever you want, plus you can customize it whatever in the way we want. And we also have custom prompts as well. In case that's not enough for you, you can just put in custom prompts. And yeah, like I told you, you can summarize, translate, refine, reformat, all of that. Coming back to best practices, we have, as I told you, local models can be tricky. Any AI model installed locally can be tricky, and that's why I'm here to give you some tips and tricks that will, just make sure that your model runs well. First of all, it's always important to monitor your CPU, RAM and storage usage, right? You don't know when it quickly bumps up and you will have heating CPU issues, and maybe your GPU is being overused and you don't have enough storage. And so you need to make sure, you need to start with a smaller model. That is what, that's the point here. You need to start smaller, you need to see if your system matches it, you need to see if your hardware matches it, then you can increase the software, right? So just be sure that you have good SSDs and all of that. We also have cross application use, so you can use it in spreadsheets as well as in presentations. So it's just not just limited to the document editors as we saw. We would also be adding soon a custom button, so you can just customize the button as you want. So probably if you're doing something like just make it SEO oriented, you can just add that SEO button, so you don't have to put in your custom prompts in case our default options aren't enough. I already talked a lot about security, and OnlyOffice has always been security first. And while developing these products, we've, especially the AI assistant, we've made sure that we do not give you any default AI by default. I mean, we just have the AI plugin, and you're free to choose your own AI. So you can choose between your local model or your cloud model. But again, it's just completely on your hands, and you can choose what you want, what you feel more is better, and all of that. And that also gives you flexibility, so you can choose between a lot of AI options, around 10 plus, and also is the popular DeepSeek from China, and also you can, the custom models are there. There's also Zipu AI, Anthropic, which is making headlines recently because of Perplexity being free to use. Yeah, and we saw that it works with documents, but it also works with spreadsheets, right? You can automate and analyze data here and there. You can run complex calculations and all of that. It also works with presentations, of course. So it's for me, it happens. So I was making this presentation and I ran out of ideas for. I mean, I have the text, but what image do I put? In that case, you could just turn on the AI editor and just put in the prompt and give me an image for this text, and it does a pretty good job. I mean, and the most important thing is all of this is happening right inside your editor. So it's not like you have to go to some different platform, put the prompt there, then copy the image and then paste it, and then you have formatting issues and all of that. No, that's not happening. We also have it for visualizing things. So in case you want to visualize your data, which is very important in spreadsheets especially, you can just select the data, you can just choose from a variety of pie charts, bar charts and all of that, so you can kind of do and visualize data as you please. And lastly, if none of the options please you, there's always the but. So we have the chat itself, so you can directly chat with your AI from OnlyOffice. So you can put in your prompt, you can just have the regular chat you would normally go to a different platform and do and have. So that's great as well. You can do it with PDFs, you can search for text, you can read text through PDFs, and you can search for specific text and make the PDF shorter, all of that, I just talked about it. And yeah, we are also soon introducing the AI agent. Now this is something different. We have the chat box, but again, it doesn't store your session, right? It's new. So, and it doesn't know what's happening inside your docs. It's just a chat bot. But when we talk about AI agent, it will run on top of your docs. It's like an overlay thing, and it will give you ability to autofill things here and there, generate things, but most importantly, it will have history. So if you are editing a document, you can go prompt by prompt. So you can start with like, okay, I'm making a resume, okay, make it this, make it that. So it will have history, so it will remember what you just put in before, and it will just give you more curated content for your document. And again, not only for text editors, but all the editors across. We'll be having this soon, so stay tuned. And as I talked, it's like it's a very separate tab up there, completely on the right. It has all the AI settings together in one place, so it's easy for you to choose between and modify your models and all of that. And yeah, that was pretty much it. I mean, I couldn't give you the demo because we have had a lot of technical issues today. It's not my fault, and it's not their fault as well. They are amazing people that tried their best to make it happen. Some other time, maybe the demo, but what this means for you right now is you can OnlyOffice along with LocalAI models and LocalAI, the platform as well, easily makes your regular document editing story, it gives it a boost, and it immediately makes it smarter, more fun and easier to use. And I would highly suggest that you guys try out OnlyOffice. It's just, you can just install it on Ubuntu, and I think a lot of people here are using Ubuntu, so you can just install OnlyOffice from the 3 ways that just we saw in the video. You can just get started. You can just maybe, if you want to get started with Cloud AI, if that is your thing, you can just do it. Local AI was just a way to tell you that, okay, we support local models, because you don't get that anywhere else. Like, you can't just say, okay, I'll add my own model and I'll use it in documents. That was just, this is just a pitch for local AI, but you can obviously, you're free to choose your own AI. But I suggest you try it out, put in the URL, get a key, and then just start experimenting with AI. Just see what all you can do inside a document, and you will be surprised to know that there are a lot of things, and you keep learning every day. And yeah, that was it. Thank you for being patient with me. You were an amazing audience, I think, and it was great presenting in front of you all. Lastly, let's connect. This is my GitHub and my LinkedIn. So I would suggest that you connect on LinkedIn, because GitHub is more of a follow thing. So if you want to just keep the queue up for a few seconds. I'm sure it also has I'll just to summarize the question for everyone, he was asking if we can use OpenLlama or the Llama model with OnlyOffice, and that's quite possible, because I think you can generate an endpoint for every model you have, right? You can just get an URL which opens up on your local host, right? So you can just take that, sorry?
So it's only accepting the API key also.
If you have the API key, then you can directly put in the API key. So if it's API key, it's not a local, right? That's what I'm saying. If it's a local model, you will definitely get an endpoint for that model. So if you get an endpoint, you just copy that URL and paste it in the URL box. Then you will get all the different models that it has in the models list, and you can select the model you want. It's very easy. I'm sure you might know that there's an endpoint for every model you use. I think I'm making sense. Does everyone else agree? Okay. So you get an endpoint like a URL, localhost 8080 or some other port, but you can use it with OnlyOffice. This is a language model. The model that we have used for this, we were going to use for the demo, was the MS model. So it's not a large language model for sure, but it's also not a small language model. It's kind of somewhere in the middle. We just call it language model, but it's definitely not an LLM. You can try using small models, but the thing is, this kind of requires a little more than just having small models. You know, there's a lot going on, but there's also not that a lot going on that you need big models like Llama and all of that. You can use your like regular basic models, but again, I've not tried with small language models, and I'd definitely like to try that out. I'll do that today itself. I just talked about desktop editors, right? It doesn't require an internet connection. So how is your data going to go outside? The data doesn't go outside if you use the desktop applications. This integration, this local AI integration, was specifically meant for desktop editors. But if you talk about online editors, we can't. You can use your own model, but again, it just loses its essence, right? You can't use local models on an online platform. So this was for desktop editors, the local AI integration. So again, as long as if you're very sensitive about your data, you just turn off your internet connection. If you really want to make sure that OnlyOffice is not eating out your data and making profit out of it, we're definitely not. But yeah. So we do have. So everyone is talking about cloud, and that makes sense. But one of our USPs we have is we do provide on-prem. So that's what you're talking about, right? On-prem, so your servers. So we install OnlyOffice on your servers, so that it's completely on your servers. The OnlyOffice is also on your servers. You control the networking and all of that. You install the AI, and you can definitely connect it with and if you have a big enough AI, and if you're looking at it from a business perspective, you definitely do get to do that. And especially, I'll tell you, France, there's a city called Lyon. So that city, the entire government of Leon ditched Microsoft Office for OnlyOffice, and they are now doing the exact same thing that you talked about. They have this own AI model developed, especially for government related stuff, and they are using on-prem OnlyOffice in their government. So you can definitely do that if that's definitely a possibility.